Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a great week. My name is Drew, the host of Never Behind. Now, due to the rally of the stock market, there are investors that are happy with their portfolio, but there are also investors that are starting to get worried since the market has kept going up since mid-2022 and are concerned about a major market crash or recession coming. So today I have invited a special guest that has gone through several market crashes and recessions, but has made a fortune in the stock market and is one of the well-known legendary investors, Jim Rogers. I thought that Jim's wisdom and insights of the market in 2024 and 2025 would be very helpful to my subscribers for their personal investments, and try to ask as many critical questions as possible that may give us a hint of the upcoming market. Now, although we planned for a 30-minute interview, there were so many great insights shared during our discussion and lasted for over an hour, so I edited the interview into two parts, trying to make the video as concise and focused as possible. Now, before we get into the interview, I wanted to share that Seeking Alpha is having a great promotion, providing the premium service with a 20% discount. I have also uploaded an interview with the founder of Seeking Alpha's quant system, showing how he uses the Seeking Alpha platform step by step in order to find the best stocks that are set to soar. So if you are interested in Seeking Alpha, please make sure you check the video on how to use the platform to find great companies to invest in, and also make sure you use the link in the description below in order to get that 20% discount. Hello, everyone. I am honored to have one of the best legendary investors of all times, Jim Rogers, on our channel once again. And I'm sure if you have been investing for some time in the stock market now, it would be almost impossible not to know who Jim is. So I thought it would be very helpful to hear Jim's insights on today's market, especially since he has gone through several market crashes and recessions that people keep assuming will happen next year or in the very near future. So thank you very much for sharing your time today, Jim.
Well, Andrew, I'm delighted to be here. I'm flattered.
Thank you. So I think a lot of people have been talking about and predicting a market crash for quite some time now. But unlike what most investors were expecting, the market has been showing new all-time highs for all three indexes and have kept going up. Some investors are even saying that the pullback that we had in 2022 was the crash most investors were talking about, and that we have started a new bull rally that will last for more than a decade. Now, do you still think that we will have a major market crash in the near future? Or do you also agree that we might have had that crash in 2022 and are in the first inning of a new bull market rally?
It really doesn't matter what I think. The market will tell us what's going on. I do know that 2009 or 2008, 2009 was bad, and this has been the longest period in American history without a major disaster. Maybe it's going to last 50 years. I don't know. It never has. Washington says, don't worry, everything is okay. Well, I know not to listen to Washington. But, Andrew, I have not started selling short. I do not sell short yet, but I can see that there is euphoria building. I see that many people, new investors are coming and saying this is wonderful and it's easy. These are signs that you see near the end, but I am not selling short yet.
Is this type of pattern that you're seeing right now, as you mentioned, like new investors coming in saying that investing is easy, they're actually making a lot of money? If they invested in NVIDIA, not knowing what the company was and not even knowing the value, they made a lot of money. Do you see this pattern happening again like we saw in 2021?
I see it beginning not as powerfully as it has been near the end in many other bull markets, but I do see it happening. I mean, I'm sure you see it. You just go on the internet and you see people saying, oh my gosh, I've discovered this new thing. It's the stock market and it's easy and you can make money. Well, okay, it's not my first rodeo. I've heard these stories before. But Andrew, as I say, I'm not selling short yet because I don't see the wild euphoria that has happened in previous bull markets near the end. Maybe we're there. Maybe I'm not smart enough, but I'm still waiting.
So based on your experience going through several, I guess, market crashes and recessions, I think you're saying that there is a possibility that you don't feel that major euphoria that you felt in, let's say, the dot-com bubble or 2008, 2009, I guess.
It doesn't feel to me the same, as powerful and as out of control, as hysterical as it has been in the past. But who knows? Bull markets, they don't sit down and write a book and say, this is what happens at the end. I wish it were that easy. It's never been that easy for me. Let's put it that way.
The other thing that I was curious, since you brought this up, I wasn't investing in 2000 or 1999, but I hear that a lot of people, and you see the data where in the dot-com bubble, there were a lot of companies with the dot-com
that didn't have revenues, didn't have net income, just had visions. And if you had that .com in your name of the company, the stock was skyrocketing. But right now, I think the hype is around artificial intelligence. But if you see the stock price going up, and if you look at the, let's say, the earning calls or see their revenue and net income, it's also actually going up as well. Do you think there's a difference between the hype right now and the hype that we saw in the .com early era?
Well, it's always different. Yes, it's always different. But having said that, I mean, I can remember in previous, I think it was probably the late 60s, companies would change their name to put computer in the name, and the stock would skyrocket it. It didn't matter if it was a laundry. You know, if you put your name as Smith's Laundry, Smith's Computer, the stock would go through the roof. So, I mean, this has all happened before. At least hysteria and bull markets have happened before. I hope they always happen. And I hope I'm smart enough to know when to get out and to sell short.
Well, talking about the Fed, so I think the Fed has kept saying that they are on track with a soft landing and that inflation is in process of being taken care of, and have shared on the most recent FOMC meeting that they may have a rate cut later this year. But I was looking at the past pattern of the market, and based on the past history, whenever the Fed has pivoted their policy and started cutting rates, there has always been a market crash followed within a year or so after the rate cut. Now, once the Fed starts cutting the Fed fund rates, either this year or next year, do you personally think that the market will be in a recovery mode as the Fed says, or do you think that it will be the beginning of maybe a major market crash?
Andrew, I have learned not to listen too much to the people at the Fed. They're just bureaucrats and academics. You know, they're trying to keep their jobs. They don't care about your job. They don't care about my job. They care about their jobs, and they're trying to keep their jobs. So I have learned not to pay too much attention. You have to listen. You have to know what they're saying. But they don't know any more than I do. They don't know more than most people.
I think the major goal of the soft landing of the Fed saying is that they're gonna drag down the inflation and not, increase the unemployment rate and not cause a recession and then have a recovery of the market. But it seems like you're saying that we need a hard landing to happen for a reset for this market.
Andrew, I will tell you that over my years, I have learned that I have to decide. I can listen to them as input, but they do have influence and some power. But I have learned that they don't know any more than you and I know.
There's a lot of investors that have sold their stocks last year, assuming that there would be a market crash. But due to the market bull rally, they have missed out on the opportunity of quite substantial gains being out of the market while the S&P was going up, I think like 25% more. Would you have any advice for these investors that are on the side right now and sold last year and have missed these gains at this point, whether they should keep waiting on the side for better opportunities or a major pullback, or do you think they should start investing since we still have the bullish momentum in the market? And also, if you also had experiences missing these great opportunities in your career and how you actually overcame these misses.
Oh, Andrew, I've made many mistakes. We could have 2 or 3 or 10 shows about my mistakes. I hope everybody's made a lot of mistakes, and I hope I continue to make mistakes because that's the only way I'm going to have any success. No, I don't like missing a move. I certainly don't like making mistakes, but I know what happens. But I think I've learned that if you've missed something, the answer is usually not to say, okay, I'll jump in now. I'll make up for it. That is historically for me not been a good way to do it. The way that I have found is wait until I myself think, okay, I missed that one. Now here's another one. Wait until you yourself think you're right. But everybody has to do it their own way, Andrew. I wish this were easy. I wish all we had to do was look at page 37 and get the answer. There is no page 37. There is no chapter 4. I wish there were.
Since the market is in a new all-time high, there is a lot of stocks that are actually in their new all-time highs as well. But I think there is always a possibility of a huge market pullback, if not a market crash. But for an investor like you, do you use stop losses just in case to protect your losses? Or do you usually dollar cost average in whenever there is a pullback or the stocks you invested in goes against you?